Breakfast of champions, that. I've woken up with a bit of a cold today, which is far from ideal, so do excuse me if I sound a bit nasally. But welcome back to the channel, you beautiful people. I hope everyone is sound. The hair is a bit shorter than normal. The missus said I look like a BTEC roadman. I kind of agree. Today's a rest day, which is fantastic, because like I said, I'm not feeling amazing. Yesterday was legs, which I'm going to run through in today's video, because this is the second rotation, which you haven't seen, mate. Morning routine done. Let's be very realistic about the morning routine. I wake up, that's always a good start. I didn't die in my sleep. Go to the toilet, weigh myself, clean my teeth, take check-in shots today. That's not always the morning routine, the check-in shots bit, but today's my check-in, therefore. Check-in shots were taken. I'll put them up on screen now, and then once that's done, hydrate, and then take Dexter on his morning walk. Come back here, I grab my breakfast. Breakfast in a can, mate. Then I get to the office and work through check-ins. I skipped over something super important there. I was a bit blasé about it. Hydration. Everyone overlooks this. When it comes down to hydration, it's not as simple as fluid, mate. I'm pointing to a water bottle that's over there. You can't just neck 1.5 litres of water and go, whoa, I'm hydrated now. Bit more to it than that. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, muy importante. I strongly recommend getting a hydration supplement. And of course, hydrating before you caffeinate yourself, mate. Stim yourself up. You should know this by now. Head over to Alliance, use code HARPER at checkout to get yourself 10% off. I strongly recommend Supplement Needs Electrolyte Plus. I believe that's the actual name of it. That's the GOAT, if you ask me. But I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna head up to the office. Let's have a plant update. He's growing at a rapid rate. It's caught me off guard, I must admit. I didn't realise how big it was until I moved it to the office. The reason it's in the office now is because it's Christmas. Feliz Navidad and all that. So the Christmas tree is where the plant was. But as you can see from this angle? It's consuming the desk, but I must admit, I like it. I feel like I'm closer to nature, mate. I feel like there's a bit of zen in the office space now. But anyway, let's get into yesterday's session, which was lower. If you do pay close attention to the channel, which I don't think anyone does, I have 2 rotations of upper and lower. So my training split is upper A, lower A, rest, upper B, lower B, rest, repeat. So this session started off with 3 working sets on the seated leg curl. Abstract bracing again. As I said before, best way. If you're loading cam 5, this is the best way to brace. Before, I was pushing into that input pad and the wrist was crying out in pain, mate. Now, no more issues. I'm actually stronger as well. This was 3 working sets. I didn't record all 3 because it'll make the video crazy long and even more boring than normal, but I did progress all 3. I know, I really am that guy. So things moved well. It was all resistance increase and match. And that's why I do like to aim to progress my training. Hip hinge, let's not talk about it, mate. I'm sad about it. It was not good. In warm-ups, it just felt really, really off. And then last time I moved 4 plates. So this time I was like, right, put 2.5 on. And it just wasn't a good set, as you can see here. I'm almost using the bumper plates to bounce. But things are still moving really, really quickly. So there's no reason why I couldn't have just let it rest on the bumper plate like I normally do. It was just very meh. And because it felt meh, I called the set early. I then moved into a second set. I was like, right, let's go back to 4 plates. Dial it in a bit. Let's actually pause on the bumper, stay tight, and hopefully feel like a good set. And then just from rep 1, it just didn't feel good. Externally, I'm happy with it. Like, I'm happy with positioning, it's moving quickly, all is sound, but it just didn't feel good. My lower back felt very twingy. I found it hard to brace. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna call this set early as well, so you'll see that. When it comes down to a big movement like this, where there is an element of risk, like these can really go wrong, you can really mash up your lower back if you're not careful, I'll just call it early. So I decided to have a little sit down, have a little cry, and then I moved on to the next movement, which is the leg press. 7 plates, strongest I've been on this. When it comes down to my training, I mentioned this in a previous video. If you didn't watch it, missed out, mate. Go back, watch it, make me feel good about myself, get these views up. But I train in lower rep ranges than normal. Well, I say normal, that's a load of rubbish. It's just what people normally talk about on Instagram. It's not all 10 to 12s, 12 to 15s, it's like 5 to 8 on most big movements. So I think I took this for 5, but I felt really good. I was happy with it. I took 3 working sets here. When it comes down to taking progression, as mentioned at the start of the video, or the seated leg I should say, I find it easier to increase resistance and aim to match reps, or maybe go +1. So that's what I do. I always look to increase load as soon as I'm at the bottom of a rep range. I find it harder to keep the weight the same and just bully it up to the top of the rep range. I don't know why, I just do. It probably comes down to bracing in all fairness. So yeah, every time I'm training and I'm feeling good, I'm always going to lift more and just look to match or maybe +1 if I'm feeling great. But very happy with these sets. I'm a big fan of this hip press, leg press. I love it, mate. Range brother behavior. No issue to the knee, lower back stays in position. It's all good. That always tastes good. Scary, innit? Moving on to leg extensions, 3 working sets here. I prefer this over the prime. I wasn't waving, I was thinking. The prime. I think it's just because I'm a little boy, that prime just throws me around. I can't maintain position at all, even when I'm wrapped into it. So I use this. I think it's a Gym 80. Line's still good, love that. It's a Gym 80 piece, I think. I'll rate it. I like it. Took 3 working sets there. I think I already mentioned that. We then moved into the adductor. There we go, 3 working sets. This adductor is actually heavy. I'm not stacking this. I'm on 2 pins from the stack. The only issue I have with it is if I have it 1 click further out, I'm snap city, mate. I can't work in that range. I can't get into it. But where it is at the minute, I feel like I'm working through not as large of a range as I could, but I take it. I much rather work through a slightly shorter range and not hurt myself than try and force myself into a passive range and things go ping. When it comes down to training this week, start of the week was a weird one. My upper session was just like awful, and then my lower was great, upper great, and then this session, now I'm reviewing it, was good. It's just the hip hinge wasn't good, and when you have movements which you're like really trying to bully up and you kind of have the weight of the session on that movement, when that doesn't go well, it's like, oh, everything's a bit shit. But everything progressed apart from that. So now, following day, what's the word I'm looking for? The emotions have settled. It's a decent session. And when it comes down to this week, it's been a good week, and I'm going to get into this. So of course I'm bulking, turbo bulk, mate. Improvement phase, massing, whatever you want to call it. And within this phase, all I'm trying to do is push my training forward alongside driving my scale weight up. Now, a trap a lot of people fall into is as soon as they see the scale weight hold, or even dip slightly, it drops a little, they think, oh, well, this isn't good, I'm making no progress. And that isn't the case. I was going to do it from my pinky, that's just a bit weird. If you're progressing your training and you're recovering, you're going to be growing. If you have a week where scale weight holds, or even it drops slightly, those 1 or 2 weeks within a 20-week phase mean very little, okay? It's not regression. As long as your training is moving in the right direction and you're recovering, you're sound. So this week I've just held like 191. I'll put some post-workout shots up on screen. I took these after this session. But training's moved forward, I'm recovering. It's not a wasted week. Adaptations will still be occurring, just means that moving forward into next week, probably have to eat a bit more. I love that. That's sarcasm, because appetite is taking a little bit of a hit, which is strange for me, because normally I can put away food, mate. But I'm gonna leave the video there, because I've got to stop talking to the camera and start talking to my laptop to work through some check-ins. But before I go, you know what I'm gonna say. If you're looking to level up your physique, online coaching is available. Head over to Instagram, send me a DM, and we'll go through the next steps from there. Also, the outro. Remember to like, subscribe, comment if you're feeling dangerous, and I'll see you in the next one.